Hi, Mr. Andrew here, and today is vertex form of the quadratic equation. We are going to find the vertex, the axis of symmetry, the x and y intercepts, and then we're going to graph. So here we go. We got our equation here, and it's going to model this form: y, or f of x, equals x minus h, quantity squared, plus k. So if we compare this to this equation here, this quadratic right here, this quadratic is x plus 2 squared minus 1. So here we know this is a quadratic because we have an x quantity and squared, so the degree is 2. So we know it's a quadratic since the power is 2. But here, if we want to find the vertex is actually very easy to find. It's where the center is shifted. So the vertex for any vertex form, and this is why it's called the vertex form, is h comma k. And if we compare that to this right here, h, notice how that's a minus h, so we have to flip the sign, and it's a plus k. Well, here we have to just flip the sign, so this is going to be negative 2, and this is going to be minus 1. Okay, we take the sign with this one. It is a plus in the original formula. Now this is the vertex, this right here. So check. So I know it said to graph last, but let's go ahead and start putting these on a graph one at a time. So if I wanted to do that, I'd say my vertex is negative 2, negative 1. So I would come to my graph, I go negative 1, 2, down 1. Okay. So now the way we have to think about this, and you'll learn about this later, is it's either going to open up like this, or it's going to open down like this. They both go in the same direction. Okay. Now, in either case, as they go through here, they're going to be symmetric about this point. If I drew a line through this point, it'd be symmetric on either side. So what we can actually say is this dashed line right here is something called my axis of symmetry. What's really cool is if I find a point here, I can mirror it across the line over here. Okay, we'll do a little bit of this in a second. So that's my second question on here. Going back to the original. Vertex, done. Axis of symmetry. This is this line right here, which is x equals left 2, so x equals negative 2. So the axis of symmetry is x equals negative 2. So that's going to be our axis of symmetry. So if I pull back the original work paper, I'm going to say axis x equals negative 2. And this is an equation. You need this whole thing here, right here in this box. That whole thing is the axis of symmetry. Okay? So that is going to be our axis of symmetry. So going back to the original, that's what we got. So now we need some x and y intercept work. I'm going to pull out a new sheet of paper for the intercepts. Okay? If I had this equation, y equals x plus 2 squared minus 1, the one we had, if I had that, then I can say there's really two intercepts. When x is 0, that's your y-intercept, and when y is 0, that's your x-intercept. So here I can plug in 0 for y and solve. I'm left with x plus 2 squared minus 1. Okay, now this I'll have to, because this is going to be a quadratic, I'm going to have to hope it factors. So really I'm going to have to FOIL this out, combine it with the negative 1. So I'm going to have to get x squared plus 2x plus 2x plus 4 minus 1. And this is from FOILing x plus 2 and x plus 2. X plus 2 times x plus 2. So the two binomials. Now combining like terms, this is 0 equals x squared plus 4x plus 3. Okay. This factors, which is good because it's set equal to 0. X plus 3, x plus 1. And this is just factoring. These are all prerequisite skills. And then because this is set equal to 0, I set each one equal to 0 and solve. Sorry, I kind of cut off the zeros. I get x equals negative 3, x equals negative 1. Okay, so what this tells me is I have the points negative 3, 0, negative 1, 0. Okay? Those are my x-intercepts. Now for my y is where I have x is 0. So if I have y equals, and I have 0 plus 2 squared minus 1, then I'm going to say that's y equals 2 squared minus 1. That is y equals 3. So I can say the y-intercept is the point 0, 3. Okay. So now let's put these 3 points on our graph. An x-intercept of negative 3, 0 is going to be right here. Negative 1, 0 right here. 0, 3. 0 and up 3 is right here. And I can already tell how this is going to go. So the x and y intercepts, those are taken care of. Last step is the graph. Well, after we have all these points on there, I just draw it. And if I wanted to, I can see how this is to the right 2 here. So I can go from the line over left 2, and I'll find another point because that axis is symmetry. It's very handy. So here we're going to draw this line through. Put some arrows on the tips because they technically go on forever. And we're done. This is y equals x plus 2 squared minus 1. If you have any questions about vertex form, any questions about quadratics in general, go ahead and just send me an email. Thank you.